Welcome back to Tasha's Heirloom table. Got my fancy new airboard here. See? So fun. So today we are making quick chocolate cake. Now, a little reminder about this channel. We are baking through my grandmother's recipe box. So we're going to make every recipe in there and see which ones are the keepers and which ones we should just follow in the back. Because, you want to keep their handwritings. It's, fun. But maybe you don't want to remake the recipe because it wasn't great. We found a couple of those that will not be reappearing in this kitchen ever. They are on this channel, however, so if you would like to go back and try them for yourself, go right ahead. And if you are successful at it, let me know. I hope you are. I was not and will not make them again. So just a few to know of: the caramel squares and Hazel's pound cake. Now, we did a pound cake series and discovered there are plenty of other pound cake recipes that are keepers. So we will be using those from now on. Okay, today is Martha's quick chocolate cake. And this is my grandmother. And I actually have a couple of copies of this recipe, but she apparently was known for this. So, because it says quick chocolate cake, Martha. So I will show you a closer up photo of that, or when we put this in the oven and I'm closer to the camera, I'll give you a close up of this recipe. Not a lot of instructions on here. So I believe this would be a cake that you would make if you had somebody just show up at your front door and you're like, I gotta throw something together. This would be a great cake for that. It's a one bowl cake. It's not going to create a bunch of dishes. So that's awesome. Let's get started. First, 2 cups of sugar, and she just has you dump all this in the bowl. I did go ahead and measure out my Crisco because I like to weigh it instead of putting in a measuring cup. So this is 1/3 of a cup of Crisco, which I believe was 64 grams. Of Crisco. But start with 2 cups of sugar, which is 400 grams of sugar, 2 cups of flour, which is 240 grams for the sake of this recipe, a teaspoon of baking soda, and I did not measure that yet, so we'll go ahead and measure that. I buy the big old bag from Costco, so I have to keep it in a smaller little container for my cabinet. Crisco already in here, 1/3 of a cup of Crisco, 4 tablespoons of cocoa powder. Put that in there. 1/4 of a teaspoon of salt. So same deal with the salt here. 1/4 of a teaspoon of salt. 1/2 a cup of sour, it says sour milk, using buttermilk. If you don't have buttermilk, you can also use milk and add vinegar or lemon juice to sour it for a recipe like this. So, doing 1/2 a cup of sour milk or buttermilk. In the description of this video, I will place this recipe if you want to go back and make it, and it will say sour milk, just FYI, because that's how it's written. 1 teaspoon of vanilla, and this is some vanilla that my sister-in-law made for me. It smells good. And 2 beaten eggs. It does specify beaten. Okay, and it says to mix this or beat it for 1 minute. So I'm gonna go grab my beater because I forgot it. Shocking. We're back. Okay, so we're gonna beat this for 1 minute. I'm gonna start a little slow. Okay, we beat that for 1 minute. And then it says to add 1 cup of boiling water, which I just turned this off from the boil. 1 cup of boiling water and then beat for 1 more minute. So, hey Siri, set a timer for 1 minute. And that is exactly how you make a huge mess. I'm really good at that. Okay. This batter is very, very liquidy. If you have ever made a Texas sheet cake, it's very liquidy like that batter. Just want to make sure we got everything at the bottom mixed in here. Okay. We're going to place this in a greased 9x13 pan. I've already greased this. I believe this is a great recipe to have on hand too, because most of these things you will have in your kitchen outside of buttermilk, but like I said, you can easily make a you can easily sour milk with lemon juice or vinegar. All right, let's get this in the oven. All right, we are placing this in a 350-degree oven for 25 to 30 minutes. So we're going to start on 25 minutes. And this is so liquidy, but I think it's just going to mean it's super light and fluffy. All right, let me show you a close-up of this recipe. This is not Mima's handwriting. This, I believe, is her mother-in-law, Elliot. And probably why I attribute it to Martha up here. And I do not remember ever eating this cake. So if it was something that she was known for, that's interesting that I don't remember eating this. I do, however, remember a lot of Texas sheet cake, which we were given that recipe by a lady in our church when I was a young child. And Mima lived with us for a while. So I know her and my mom, or she and my mom, made that quite a bit. But I'm interested why she didn't make this one. So maybe she did. Maybe I just don't remember it. So we are going to get this out in, didn't set my timer. We're going to set it for 20 now. I know I didn't talk for 5 minutes. Actually, I have a timer right here on my video. So 1 minute I talked. So we'll set this for 23. If I start to smell that, I will check it. Also, I'm going to make a quick chocolate icing. I'm not going to show you, but I will because it's not on this card. But I believe this cake needs to probably be iced, and I will put it in the description of this video. So while you're checking out that description for the recipe, make sure you subscribe to this channel so you're alerted each week when a new video drops. And, you know, if you're liking this content, share it with your friends. Make sure you give the video a like. And we'll see you in just a minute. Okay, I wanted to show you this cake before I ice it. Look at that. It's a weird... I don't know what I would have done wrong. And it's, I mean, it's done. I definitely toothpick tested it. I mean, it is definitely done, but it is sinking a little bit right there. I baked it right at 28 minutes. I don't know, but I wanted you to see that before I cover it with icing. Just full transparency. Okay, this icing is called an old-fashioned chocolate fudge icing. basically Texas sheet cake icing. I will say the biggest difference there's two big differences between this and a Texas sheet cake. Texas sheet cake are baked in a sheet pan. Also, there is cinnamon in Texas sheet cake. There was no cinnamon in this. Some of the ingredient measurements are a little different too, but those I would say are the two biggest differences. I'm going to ice this while hot. This is half a cup of butter for 1 stick of butter, a 1/4 cup of milk, a 1/4 cup of cocoa powder, a teaspoon of vanilla, and I did 400 grams of powdered sugar, which is about 3 1/3 cup of powdered sugar, I believe. So this should soak right into this cake. It's going to be nice and fudgy and delicious. We're not going to taste test it now. I'm going to let this icing set a little bit on here. This is where my son would be all over licking this bowl. But we're back in school, so he's not here to do that. Just going to spread this out a little bit. Some of this, the cake is pulling away from the side just a little bit, so some of the icing is gonna sink down in the side part, which will make those edges nice and yummy. That's really pretty. I would definitely, now we need to taste it first, but I would definitely serve this to somebody. So there you go. There she is, nice and glossy and pretty. You can put nuts in this icing if you would like. That would make it a very, very southern recipe. I'm not doing nuts because I know that my son will want to try this, and we have a nut allergy. So don't bake with a lot of nuts so that he can eat it. But if you wanted to do half a cup of nuts in the icing before you pour it on the cake, be good. Pecans, specifically. All right, we'll come back and taste this in just a minute. She's cooled down, and we're gonna give her a taste. Use my plastic knife to cut this. I love cutting cakes, especially cakes in like a pan like this. Not bundt cakes necessarily, but I like to cut cakes and brownies with a plastic knife because I feel like it doesn't pull the crumb all over the top of the cake. So we're going to give this a little cut. See, just cuts it so nicely. Go ahead and cut this whole first row here. Now you get to witness me trying to get this out of the pan, which that first piece is always such a trick. Boop. All right. See that crumb? Looks so good. And I was right, the sides got covered in that frosting or that icing. So that's the way to go. I mean, that is going to be so yummy, I think. Let's give her a taste. That's such a good texture. The icing, I don't feel like it's too sweet for this. It's a really good balance. For sure would serve this to my friends. Quick chocolate cake with an old-fashioned fudge icing. It's the way to go. So, if you'd like to make this or any other recipe that you've seen on this channel, check the description of the video. I will have, call it Mimo's quick chocolate cake in the descriptions with any notes that I have about things I did differently or wouldn't do on the next bake. Definitely make this for your next family gathering, church potluck, wherever you're going to take dessert, because it is delicious and it's going to be a hit. Also, make sure you subscribe to this channel so you're alerted each week when a new video drops. And like and share them with your friends if you're liking the content. I'll see you next week on Tasha's Heirloom Table.